Hey, it's Darius Clark from CPAExamTutoring.com, home of the I-75 CPA Review Course. Look, when it comes to your CPA exam journey, are you on the right road? Are you confident that the video lectures that you've been watching are going to teach you and help you retain and understand the material so that when you see the questions on the exam, you'll be able to solve them? Why does this matter? Because there's still time to change the road you're on. What about you? Did you take Becker or Gleim or Surgeon and you had some instructors who were good auditors or expert estate planners, but did you have a teacher for CPA review, someone that you could actually learn from? Here's the deal. When it comes to a CPA candidate, there's no such thing as bad student, only bad teacher. So what makes for a bad CPA review instructor? Well, the trouble starts when they give you a CPE course lecturer or industry expert. Why is that no good? They may be a college professor or a CPE course lecturer. There's some industry expert, but they might lack the ability to relate to you, even though they're extremely knowledgeable about the subject matter. The trouble with the industry expert is that he or she talks at such a high level on a daily basis about the topic that they often forget what classroom they're in when they're teaching CPA review. And all it takes for your CPA review instructor to be a little distracted by their teachings of CPE or college or CFA, and they forget what classroom they're in, and that puts the pressure on you. And then you go to the multiple choice questions and realize, I can't answer these questions. And you feel like bad student. When, remember, at this level, in the CPA Review Sub-culture, there is no bad student, only bad teacher. Some of these guys from Becker used to be pretty effective CPA Review Course lecturers before they started teaching so much CPE, continuing professional education. I can't emphasize this enough. Why do CPE instructors make bad or mediocre CPA review instructors? Simple, because there's no test after a CPE lecture. So you sit there in a CPE lecture, you're only there to get credit to maintain your license. And when the lecture's over, you leave, you get credit for time spent. There's no test afterwards. So because of that, the instructor doesn't anticipate the questions that are going to be asked on the test, since there isn't going to be any test after the CPE lecture. Why is that important for you? Because you need an instructor for CPA review that does anticipate the questions, the very questions that are going to be on the CPA exam, the very questions that you're going to ask and want to know the answers to in the middle of a video lecture. That's what you want a CPA review instructor to be. Because all I teach is CPA review, it's easy for me to remember that you're a CPA candidate, but you're not an expert. You've forgotten as much as you ever knew, and you're not even particularly interested other than to pass the CPA exam. And this is what's on my mind the entire time while I'm teaching a CPA review course lecture or a one-on-one tutoring session. And by remembering these three things, that allows me to anticipate the questions that you, a CPA candidate, would have so that I can answer those questions for you during the I-75 video. So, students ask me all the time, what's the difference between my course and Becker or Gleim or Wiley or Surgeon? And the answer is clear. They hire CPE course lecturers and college professors who are extremely knowledgeable, but they often lack the ability to relate to you. The CPA exam is not going to give you credit just because you were taught by an industry expert with very impressive credentials. The CPA exam is the black belt of the accounting profession, and the AICPA is not going to just hand you the black belt simply because you were taught by an industry expert or some CPE course lecturer. Bottom line, what's the difference between the I-75 CPA review course and Becker, Surgeon, and Gleim? I only teach FAR, Audit, BEC, and REG. I only teach CPA Review. I don't teach CPE or CFA or even college. So when you're watching one of my CPA Review video lectures, I'm only thinking about the questions you might ask. Most of these students were a lot like you. They started with Becker or Surgeon or Gleim, and there was a disconnect between them and the instructor. So they came to me and they said, "Hey, Darius, I need you to do for me what you've done for so many others." And I said, "Sure. All you got to do is get on the right road, either with some live one-on-one tutoring or with my I-75 CPA review course. If your CPA exam journey has been a little bumpy, get yourself on I-75 and take it to your next pass."